Hello yogis, and welcome to another Embrace Joy Yoga video. I'm Julia, and today I will be guiding you into tree pose. Tree pose is a common pose done in yoga vinyasa flows, and it's a balancing pose, so we will be standing on one leg. And in that case, if you would like to be near a wall for support, I highly recommend that. You can also have blocks. I'll show you how to use the block to aid in balance. But first we're going to start low on the mat with just a few preparatory poses to prepare ourselves, really center ourselves before we dive in to tackling tree pose. So you can lay back down on your mat, allow your knees to knock together, and feet are as wide as the mat. Just begin to set your breath in through the nose. Let it go. Bring your legs out long. You're going to slowly bring that right leg up so that the bottom of the right foot is touching up against the inside of the left thigh. This is a supine tree. So if you can imagine, say you raise your arms long, this is how you would look in tree pose standing up. Right now, we're just kind of preparing ourselves, visualizing that here on the mat. Slide that right leg down. Let's do the left side. Beginning to allow our hips to open up. As in tree pose, we will have one leg, one hip rotated, externally rotated, so we're just opening that up now. Go ahead and slide the left leg down, draw those knees back up, bring your arms back down to your side. You can inhale, lift your right leg up, and exhale, bring that right ankle to sit on top of the left thigh, just underneath the knee. Perhaps you take your right hand and gently press against that right thigh. Just gentle opening that hip. Inhale, bring that right leg up. Exhale, bring it back down to the mat. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, place that left ankle on top of the right thigh. You're going to just continue to visualize yourself opening up, rooting yourself, grounding yourself to prepare for finding your tree pose. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring it down. Go ahead and windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Just letting out any tension in those hips. Draw those knees to the chest. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. You can just kind of rock side to side. And then we're going to rock and roll, coming up, bringing those legs underneath you. We're going to meet in tabletop position. For tabletop position, knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked under the shoulders, planted firmly, your palms are planted firmly in the mat. Trying to keep that nice long neck, long spine here. I'm going to take a couple of cat-cows just to kind of warm up that core and that back. That core strength is very important for balancing. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, round your back like a Halloween cat. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the heart. Exhale, round the back. A couple more on your own. Maybe you add in some organic movement as you transition through those cat-cows, making it your own. And then coming back to center. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Big inhale. Exhale, shift your hips up and back, keeping those palms firmly planted on the mat. Coming to downward facing dog here. Shoulder blades pressed away from the ears. Going to make sure that the insides of the elbows are pointing towards the top of the mat. And just pedal out your feet here a little bit. And maybe wag your tail back and forth. Then we're going to look to the front of the mat, walk your feet to your hands, coming into a forward fold with this nice generous bend here in the knees. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, arms tall overhead. Exhale, bring your arms down to your side. Wonderful. So from here, we're going to be standing in Tadasana. So you can start here in the center of your mat. We're going to focus on rooting ourselves. Imagine that there are roots coming out of the bottom of your feet, spreading into the earth so that you are firmly planted here. Imagine also that you have a point at your big toe, your pinky toe, and on either side of your heel. So those are your four corners of your feet. You want to be solidly rooted onto that mat, pressing into all four corners. So you're not raising up those toes, you're not coming onto the side of the foot, you're keeping it firmly planted. You keep your shoulders back, and then just keep that nice long line here. Keep your knees soft so we're not locking our knees. And we're going to take our arms up overhead, clasp those fingers, do a big stretch like you're just about to get out of bed. Then another inhale, bend over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale. Big inhale, bend to the left. As if you're a tree swaying gently, but still keeping those feet firmly planted. Coming back through center. Wonderful. So we're back here in Tadasana. We've got our roots planted. And so we're going to focus now on tree pose. So I will show you an example here with the block, and then I'll go over to the wall. So for tree pose, if you're not familiar with tree pose, basically one leg is going to be your standing leg. The other one, you're going to externally rotate this hip so it's coming out as if it's like a tree branch. Now, you can, as you're preparing to balance in this pose for a while, you can just stay here with this leg turned out, but your ball of your foot is still on the floor. You can also take a block, and then you can kind of stand on that block. You can rest your heel on your calf too. And so you can stand here with the ball of your foot on that block. You can raise your branches high, maybe sway back and forth if you feel steady enough. Just swaying that upper body, not moving the feet. So that is one variation that you can start with to practice. And if you want to move a little bit further, we can do just having that foot here on the calf. Again, that can be still quite challenging. So if you want to come to the wall, that's a perfect way to get support. So you can just have one arm down, you can have it on your belly, on your hip, just making sure you're not locking out your knee on your standing leg, rooting through those feet. You can go ahead and bring that right foot to the inside of the left, or to the side of the left leg. And here I'm holding onto the wall here, so you can stay here just holding onto the wall. Then you can raise one arm, and maybe lower and lift your arm, whatever feels good to you. Another important point to think of when you are working on balance is that when you're going to balance, you want to focus on something eye level. We often call this in yoga a drishti, like a focal point. And so you want to find something that's not going to be moving so that you can focus on that, and that helps you as you come to stand without support. So now you're standing here. Again, raise your arms if you like. Big inhale, let it go. Woo. See, you can lean on the wall if you need a little support. And then I'm going to lower that foot down. And then the next option, so this is probably the most challenging. It's a little bit harder while I'm giving instruction as well to balance. So again, focusing on a drishti, not locking out this knee here. And when you have the right foot coming all the way up to the left thigh, we need to be careful that it doesn't slide down over this knee joint, because we do not want to be balancing here with that foot pressing, putting pressure on that knee joint. So we want to make sure it is here in this fleshy area of the thigh. So here we are standing on the wall. Right now I'm feeling pretty steady. I just have my fingertips on the wall here. So I'm focusing on that drishti right in front of me, trying to focus. And I'm going to gently pull away from the wall, hands to heart center. And go back to the wall if you need it. Inhale, arms come up overhead, keeping those shoulders pressed down. Strong back, strong core. Breathing steady. Inhale, exhale. I can maybe even begin to sway the arms a little bit. Not moving my entire body, but just the arms, growing those branches taller. Big inhale and exhale. Bring hands to heart center and slide that leg down. Great job. So we'll try that again. You can try that again on the other side if you feel up to it. So again, we can just start here in the center. Just take our arms up overhead. Another big stretch. Maybe shake out those legs a little bit. Inhale, stretch to the right. Back through center. Another inhale, stretch to the left. So now we'll go ahead and just focus on doing tree pose on the other side, on the left side. So I'll have to come off my mat here for just a second. Again, we do have a block, or you can use a block if you like. So your block would be here, And this would be here with your block. This is coming with the right foot on the, or I'm sorry, I'm doing the wrong side again. So we already did that side. So we will have, yes, there we go. Left leg rotating this time. So planting firmly into that right foot. So you can have this again here. You can take your foot in here. You can stand here like this with that left foot kissing that right leg there on the calf. Then keeping that focal point. You may have one side where it feels easier to balance on, and that could be either your right or left leg. And that's perfectly normal. And so this is the full tree pose here. Again, just focusing on keeping strength through that core, lengthening through that spine, rooting into the ground, focusing straight ahead on a point that doesn't move, finding balance. Inhale, you can grow your branches, letting those shoulder blades continue to press down the back. Maybe sway your branches from side to side. Just your arms moving here if you're doing this. We're not moving our entire bodies from side to side, just the arms. Just imagine those branches flowing in the wind. Challenging yourself a little bit here if this is where you're at today with your tree pose. If not, just keep practicing. You will get there. Takes consistency. Practice makes permanent, so we will always just keep growing, so to speak, with our tree pose here. Go ahead and lower that leg down. You can set aside your blocks. We're going to come back to the mat, just kind of cool down for a little bit. Stand up, take your arms up overhead. Inhale, fold forward. Plant those palms. Step your feet back as if you're coming into plank. Drop those knees. Bring your big toes together and press back into child's pose. Just for a nice rest here. Then we'll just come up back to all fours. Slide those legs out to the side. Bring yourself down onto the mat again, kind of like where we started with our knees up. If you have a block here, you can use that to take supported bridge. You can also use like a thick folded blanket or a pillow or a cushion. You can just put that underneath your hips. Then we'll just stay here just for a moment in this supported bridge. Just kind of figure out exactly where you want to situate that block. Taking those deep breaths. You can move those arms, stretch those arms long up overhead if you like, and then bring them back down. Or just leave your arms still. Big inhale, remove the block, lower those hips down. Exhale, fold those knees to the chest. Roll around from side to side. You're going to take your legs out long. Bring your right leg over the left and twist. You can look out over the left shoulder. So your legs are kind of tangled together here. Imagining as if it's like tree roots tangled together. Inhale, come back to center. Right or left leg comes out long, right leg comes up over. Again, tangle those legs together. You can look out over your right shoulder. Breathing deeply. Allowing yourself to connect back with the earth as you were when you started. Bring back to center. Begin to lay your legs out long to prepare for Shavasana. Hands come out to the side. Tuck those shoulder blades together. Of course, it is always an option to take constructive rest as your Shavasana, like we started with. So whatever feels best for you, whatever helps you feel most appreciated and celebrated for what you just did, conquering this balancing pose. Hopefully many more balancing poses in the future. Maybe as you soften your eyes, just visualize the growth in yourself. We will just rest here for a moment. slowly begin to bring awareness back to your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Perhaps you roll over into the fetal position. Taking a moment and just allow yourself to come back up, back into a seated position. Taking a nice, big, deep closing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Taking a moment to focus on celebrating your own personal growth. It was an honor to practice with you today. I hope that your heart is filled with light and joy. Namaste.